Wilson. Well, you know, the Freedom Tower has left the building, at least the Freedom part has. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey taking the Freedom out of the Freedom Tower, arguing it was just too cumbersome. Now the building that will rise above Ground Zero will be named One World Trade Center, apparently less cumbersome. Deborah Burlingame is not buying any of this. She lost her brother on 9/11. He was a pilot on that plane that crashed into the Pentagon. Well, let's just say, Deborah, probably not happy, right?
No, it's a terrible idea.
What'd you make of this and the excuse for it?
I think it's moral cowardice. I think that to say that One World Trade Center is its legal name and it's just a building is ridiculous. If they actually believe that taking the name Freedom off of that building will get more tenants or somehow make it less of a target for terrorism, I think they're deluded. Tenants make decisions based on straight economic factors. And as far as terrorism is concerned, Al-Qaeda doesn't care what we call it. We could call it the Diversity Tower. Wouldn't make a difference to them. They don't pay attention to what we think.
I'm wondering, I was trying to really understand the logic in this. I didn't buy the cumbersome thought. I thought that was a little BS-y. But, I mean, then I'm thinking, all right, maybe it's because, just like in the old World Trade Center, there were a lot of international companies. About 80-some-odd countries were represented in those two buildings. So maybe they're thinking, well, if we do Freedom Tower, it's too American, and we don't want to tick off, you know, foreign folks who might be here. That was the most I could analyze.
I think they're trying to market commercial real estate, and they're making decisions based on marketing. I mean, like, how do we brand this product we're selling? But this isn't a straight commercial real estate product they're selling. It's a symbol. Those two towers that were attacked and that fell on 9/11 are never coming back. There are people who want them rebuilt. This was to replace them. The cornerstone that was dedicated on July 4th, 2004, states to honor and remember those who perished on September 11th, and dedicated to the enduring spirit of freedom. The idea, this isn't a political idea, it's who we are. The United States is not a corporation. We're a country. And we are bound together by ideals and values. And we have to transmit them to each other through these symbols.
But do you ever worry the further out you get from 9/11? You and I were chatting about this during the break and how these anniversaries got to be tough for you and remind you of your brother and all the pain you experienced. That maybe on big number anniversaries, maybe on the 10th and all, but by and large we're forgetting it. You know, it's not that we're unaware of the dangers, but we don't talk about them as much, and the more time that passes, the less we think it will happen again. What do you think of that?
Well, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, 9/11 is the subject of movies, it's plot points in television shows, it's glibly used every day in a way that doesn't remember what happened, but it sort of drains it of its original meaning. And I worry when you take something like this, which is imbued with so much meaning for so many people, including the 10-year-old son of a Port Authority officer who was there at that dedication. He read from the Declaration of Independence. When you go back on things like that, when you move away from who you are and who we were on that day and what it meant to us and how we persevered.
But it's part of the trend, right?
You set yourself up.
We're going to get this with another guest, but you know, you can't call them enemy combatants. You can't even use the word terror.
No, man-caused disaster.
What do you make of all this?
I think you're fooling yourself into believing that if you just change the name, you're changing the reality, and it isn't so. One of the things we learned from the 9/11 Commission and all what they investigated was that Al-Qaeda was at war with us. We were not at war with them. We refused to engage, thinking that they would go away. They are not going to go away.
They were at war with us long before we had these semantic games.
Exactly. It's the truth. But I dare Anthony Coscia at the Port Authority to say to Julian Davis, that little boy, freedom doesn't matter anymore. It's just an address.
Deborah, thank you very much, wherever your brother is. He is thanking his lucky stars he has a sister like you. Deborah Burlingame, we have a lot more.